What's up, everyone? Welcome into another episode of Instant Reaction here on the Colts Audio Network and on the Colts YouTube page. I'm JJ Stankevitz, joined every week by Colts Ring of Honor wide receiver Bill Brooks. Bill, the Colts win 28 to 27 over the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium on Sunday in Week 11. The Colts improved to 5-6 on the season. And where else to start, Bill? With, I think, unquestionably the best game we have ever seen Anthony Richardson play in the NFL. And specifically, Bill, the two fourth quarter drives that he engineers to go lead the Colts when they're down 24 to 16, goes down, gets a touchdown. Doesn't convert the 2-point conversion. They come back, they're down five. He goes down and he leads his first ever game winning drive in his career. He throws a 39-yarder to Alec Pierce. He finishes it off with a 6-yard touchdown run. Bill, to me, the most telling numbers from this entire football game are on those final two drives. Anthony Richardson completed 8 of 10 passes for 129 yards with one touchdown. He also ran in another score. This, by the way, against a Jets defense, Bill, that had only allowed 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter all season. So that's where we are starting this episode of Instant Reaction presented by Sony, Bill, with those two fourth quarter drives.
Yes, that's good to see that Anthony could orchestrate those drives to get the team into the end zone and score some points and have a comeback. And to me, that last drive, when they got the ball back, I think with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left, and he went down and was 3 for 3 throwing the ball, hitting some receivers, hit Josh Downs, hit Michael Pittman, hit Pierce also, and then also had 2 runs. The 2 runs. Each of them were for 4 yards, the last one for a touchdown.
Yep.
So that's big for a young guy to be put in that position as far as 2 minutes, 41 seconds left to go. Have to drive the field, score a touchdown, get the team to win the football game. Pressure's on. And he seemed like he was just so relaxed. He was calm.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bother him at all to be in that position. And that's good to see. So to me, that is a big, big plus for him, showing that he can do it and bring a team back to win a football game.
I'm glad you said relaxed, Bill, because that is where Anthony Richardson kind of emphasized today. That's where he felt that's where he felt the 2 week benching kind of led him to feel today. He said like he didn't feel like he was pressing. He went out there and he said, that maybe wasn't the most prepared he's ever been. Like he didn't go nuts with with that. Like he did do some stuff which I want to get into, but he just said like coming back after the 2 weeks behind the scenes led him to feel more relaxed. And I thought that hearing that, you saw it. Like you, Bill, like you said, you absolutely saw him look relaxed. I thought he just was in command all of the game, the entire game. And then he was poised in really difficult moments. I mean, the second half started off poorly for him. He has the strip
Yes.
sack that leads to the Jets going and taking the lead. And then you're backed up and you got to go down and score a touchdown. You got to lead a 70-yard touchdown drive to win the game and realistically save your season. And he just goes down and takes him a couple of plays and he does it. Bill, I'm glad that you felt that because being in the stadium and then hearing from him after, that was also kind of my overarching feeling is like he looked more just in command and in control than I think we've seen him look all season.
And that could come from a couple of things. I know for me as a player, when I went into a game, I always like to get hit real early in the game. It'd be nice to catch a pass on the first drive, get hit, and you're really into the game and you feel like, okay, you're a part of the game now. You're used to it. You're ready to go. And, for Anthony, maybe that first run he had, that got him into the game. The first play on offense at the beginning of the game was Anthony running the ball, got hit, got back up and was ready to go. So it was good to see him be relaxed, be comfortable in the system. And some of it also can be that, he had a good command of the game plan. And when you have a good command of the game plan, you feel confident about what you're going to do out there in a football field. So give Anthony credit for preparing well, being ready to go. and not getting rattled also when things didn't go well for the team. Just staying poised and staying relaxed because for me personally, if I had been out for a couple of weeks and came back for my first game, I would have been amped up at the beginning of the game. So give credit to Anthony for staying calm and cool and relaxed and actually going out there and executing a game plan.
I think that's been you mentioned him being amped up, and like that's something that he definitely could have fallen into the trap of. I do think that's been somewhat of a trend for him this year, is that when he's missed some time and he's come back, whether it was week one against Houston or week six against Miami, when he's come back, he's been maybe a little, I don't want to say like jittery, but it's almost felt like he sees a guy open and it's like, I got to get the ball there. And then he misses the throw. Today, it was just, he was in control. And I thought the game plan for him, Bill, early on was awesome, where the Colts just said, Shane Steichen said, we are going to run it. We are going to run it with Anthony. And then we're going to throw the ball off of that. You get the completion to Downs, that incredible diving catch early in the game that kind of
Yes.
sparks some stuff. You get Anthony running it in. I mean, Mo Alley Cox said one of my favorite quotes of any player that I've heard all year. So he's talking about Anthony's touchdown run, Bill, in the first.
Hmm.
Mo said, quote, it looked like that dude got hit by the Holy Ghost the way he went backwards. I mean, Jalen Mills got pulverized
Yes.
on that play. But like that's that like you could see like the reaction of Richardson's teammates after that was like, "Oh yeah, we're back. Like we are back with this guy." And they had always believed in him, and then like I think just like seeing that was like, "Okay, we got a little something here today in this game, Bill."
Yeah, I mean, it's special when you have Anthony Richardson in this offense, and when the team gets into the red zone, that's another weapon that the Colts have as far as Anthony running the ball and him running the ball, and they have to account for Anthony. But also when Anthony runs the ball and he sees someone that he can truck and run over, well, you know what? He did it today. He ran over the guy to make sure he got the touchdown and get into the end zone. So Anthony is definitely a weapon, but he's a big weapon in my eyes. Definitely in the red zone where he can run over people, and it's good to have an extra weapon on the offense like that. So Shane can use them in different ways and use the offense as far as put them in different positions to use his talents and help out other players as well. So it's good to see Anthony back. It's good to see him out there playing and relaxing and having fun with his teammates. And that's what you want. I mean, as a professional player, you want to win, you want to compete, but you also want to have fun with your teammates out there. And Anthony looked like he was having fun today.
All right, I want to get into some of the bigger plays, like single plays that Anthony had in this game. And I want to start with the 39-yarder to Alec Pierce, the completion down the near sideline, the play that really sparked the Colts to win this football game. And I was talking with Alec in the locker room after the game, and hey, like take me through that play. And Alec told me that he had noticed all game that the Jets cornerbacks were getting, as he said, a little bit nosy on these outbreaking option routes that Josh Downs had been running. Those are kind of a staple of this offense, Bill, right? Like you get Downs
Yes.
lined up in the slot, and you give him kind of the two-way go. And if he hits the outbreaker, those are usually easy completions for this offense. And Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, the Jets' two outside corners, have been just kind of waiting to sit on one of those all game. So Alec tells Anthony, hey, it looks like we're going to call this play at some point. If you get this look, if they're in a like a palms coverage, hey, check to a go ball to me because I'm going to be open. So Anthony, that's exactly what he does. It's 2nd and 6, 2:14 to go, ball on the Colts 34-yard line. Anthony gets up, he checks the play, and says, okay, this is how it's going to go. So he checks the play, drops back, immediate pump fake. Like he's ready to throw that ball to Downs. And Sauce Gardner, Gardner's eyes are on Anthony Richardson on this play. He's kind of feeling Pierce, but his eyes are on Richardson, and he's just waiting for Anthony to throw that outbreaker to Downs. Richardson pump fakes it. Gardner kind of gets lost in space a little bit, and Anthony lets the throw go, hits Pierce in stride. Nice play by the safety, by the way, to keep Pierce from scoring, but ultimately that wound up being a
Yes.
good thing. Um, but The thing, Bill, here is like we've seen this sometimes this year from Anthony, where I kind of mentioned like he gets a little bit amped up, where a play will be there and he almost speeds up his process too much, and that's where you see some of the sprays and some of the misses on guys who are open. This one, he pump fakes, but he knows exactly what he's doing, quickly resets and gets that ball out to Alec. It is a perfect throw. That ball's got to be right down the sideline because the safety is kind of hunting there. And I
Yes.
mean, just a perfect throw, great execution on the play. And Mo Alley Cox told me after the game, like as soon as Alec caught that ball, he goes, "Oh yeah, we got this one. We're gonna go down and win this game."
That's a good feeling to have. So I'm glad Mo felt that way at the moment. But when you said that to me, JJ, the thing I thought of was the communication between Alec and Anthony. That is what you want to see out there. You want to see guys coming back to the huddle or coming back to the sideline after a series of plays and talking to one another and saying, "Hey, look, this is what I see out there. If they do this, be alert. I could be open on this play, or you need to check to this play." And that's good communication from both, and that's good communication in regards to letting them know exactly what they want to do. And then Anthony also trusting what Alex coming back and telling him. So that is a good sign right there for both of them. Both of them are young players, but both of them are working to get better, and they're on the same page. So that's very good that they can communicate like that, and that's what helps you get big plays because there's things that happen out there or things that you plan for during a week that just something totally different happens and you have to make the adjustment in the game on the fly. And that's what they did. They made that adjustment out there. Alec told Anthony, be aware of this. This is what they're doing. They're kind of cheating on those option routes when Josh Downs come out. I should be open in the hole back there. And if I am, throw the ball. And as you mentioned, Anthony was relaxed, calm, didn't rush it, just threw it out there. And Alec made a nice catch. And as you said, it probably was a blessing in disguise that the guy tackled Alec,
Yeah.
but I'm sure Alec would love to had got a touchdown on that play.
I mean, you don't want to give the ball back to Aaron Rodgers
No,
with 2 minutes to go and either a 1 or a 3 point lead. So it did
exactly.
work out. Um, the other throw, I think, Bill, this other throw I want to talk about here, I think was my favorite throw of the game, though, and it's the play right after the completion to Pierce, where so you got the ball on the 27-yard line, 2 minute just after the 2 minute warning. You go Richardson out of the gun, he goes play action to Jonathan Taylor, and the pocket kind of quickly collapses. Javon Kinlaw's coming right at him. He hits like a really nice like rip and swim move on Tanner Bortolini. So Kinlaw's coming right at him. The rest of the pocket's collapsing with Quinnen Williams and this other D lineman working on Braden Smith. And Richardson, he play action, his drop, it's like a real quick drop to the 30, let's see, it's a 34-yard line. And with pressure, Richardson does not backpedal. He stands tall in the pocket. He knows he's going to get hit. And he throws this seam ball to Josh Downs before Downs turns and looks at it. Because he knows Downs is going to get open in the right spot in this zone behind Oliver, the slot corner. It's a great throw. It's on time. It's exactly where this ball needs to go. Um, because he, maybe is a little behind Downs, but regardless, like it's the right decision, the right throw in a moment where I think some quarterbacks might have felt that pressure and just kind of bailed. And then you try to make something happen. It could be a busted play, an incompletion, whatever it is. Uh, for Richardson to stand in the pocket like that and deliver that throw on time to Downs and trust Downs to go make that play, I thought that was one of his more impressive plays of the game, if not his most impressive play of the game.
Yeah, that was very impressive. And you know what? This is where Anthony has trust and faith in his ability. I mean, he's a big man, strong man. He knows he can stay in the pocket, and he knows that it's going to take a lot for a defender to bring him down or to disrupt his passing. And for him to stay in the pocket and then also trust Josh to be at the right place, at the right time, and that Josh would turn around, get his head around to be able to catch the ball. That says a lot about those two. Those two are on the same page. It's good that they're nice to see that they're working together. But give Anthony credit. I mean, Anthony is just such a big, strong young man, and for him to stay in the pocket and get the ball out to Josh, that was a big play.
So That leads the Colts down to having a goal to go set of downs for the game, basically. And a couple plays, they try to run it to Taylor, it doesn't really go anywhere. Then a quick little kind of sprint out pass to Pittman that gets you a couple yards. So then you get 3rd and 4 on the 4 yard line, and you go to work right here with Anthony Richardson. This is where he has this kind of not unique, but this is where his skill set really shines to me, Bill. You pull Matt Gonzalez, you pull Ashton Doolin on a quarterback sweep, paves the way, and then when Richardson cuts this ball upfield, Bill, I looked up. Pro Football Focus has like tracking data on it, and Richardson was running 8.5 miles an hour when he cut upfield. So like think about like you're on a treadmill. 8.5 miles an hour is like you're running. You are
You're
full.
running.
Maybe you're not maybe sprinting, but like you are running. And at 6'4", 244, boy, DJ Reed, good effort, man. Like, glad you stuck your nose in there. But Jalen Jones after the game, the Colts cornerback, kind of spared a thought there. He said, "quote When you've got a quarterback that's 6'5", 250, man, look, you stepping in front of a freight train for real. I'd hate to be on the other side of that. I mean, I'm glad you spared a thought for DJ Reed because it's like Bill, like when like you see a guy in basketball get like posterized on a dunk, and it's like he was going up and trying to make a play, and he just kind of got dunked on, but you admire him for at least going up and trying to make a play. This kind of felt like that. Like, yeah, good for you, DJ Reed, but like you weren't bringing Richardson down on that play.
Yeah, it was like good effort, nice try. We understand that you have to try and have to give an effort, but you just were outmatched. You were not going to stop Anthony Richardson from getting into that end zone. So, and Anthony's done that a couple of times this year. People just, we got corners and safeties that are trying to come up and stop him. And once Anthony gets moving, running, and gets all that weight behind him and is just physical mass, those guys don't stand a chance. And he just gets into the end zone. And like I said, that's another weapon for the Colts to have in the red zone, knowing that if Anthony does run the ball, he's big enough, he's strong enough to run over guys or just run through tackles to get into the end zone. So that's just a plus for the Colts offense. And I'm sure Shane loves having that option to be able to use Anthony to run the ball, or of course, he can pass the ball in the end zone as well.
So a couple of other moments in this game where Richardson's physical ability really shined. Two ones that popped off the screen and popped off not just the screen. I mean, I was at the game. I should say popped off the field. But I'm saying this while I'm real time rewatching these plays. The first one, Bill, is the first play of the second to last drive of the game. So stick with me here. It's
Uh-huh.
Colts are down 24-16. It's 1st and 10 on their own 30, and uh, Oliver, the slot corner, gets like immediate pressure on Richardson, and he starts to kind of like juke and all right, am I going to try to juke this guy? Can't get him. Okay, we start hand fighting a little bit. Oliver engages with Richardson on the far hash on the 20-yard line, and Richardson just kind of like keeps fighting, fighting, fighting until he's almost halfway between the near hash and the numbers. Oliver can't bring him down, and Oliver's got him. And Richardson throws the ball away. So instead of taking a sack for a loss of 15 yards on a gotta have it drive, Richardson has a 0 yard play. 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 25. And Bill, just think about how open Shane Steichen's playbook is at that point. If you're calling a play on 2nd and 10, you've got kind of your whole menu still available. But if you're calling a play on 2nd and 25, there is not much you can call that you're like, that play's going to be successful. So that ability to avoid the sack, and it popped up earlier in the game on that one play on the far sideline where Richardson gets like, again, he gets engaged and he's just fighting, fighting, fighting. He flips the ball out to Downs for a first down. Those kind of plays are we know Richardson can do that. We've seen it before, but it's such a good reminder of how important his ability to avoid sacks can be in the course of a game where you don't take the loss of 15, you're able to keep your playbook open and get to the next play, which Bill was a 20-yard completion to Michael Pittman Jr. that sparked that first touchdown drive in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's good. And that's what I was talking about earlier by making smart plays, make good decisions. Yes, he's physical enough to hold off guys from sacking him and causing a loss for the team and kind of putting Shane, in a bind a little bit as far as trying to find plays to get a first down on 2nd and 20 or 2nd and 25. But now you're 2nd and 10. So as you said, you still have your whole playbook open to you. So it's a smart play by Anthony, just to get rid of the ball, not take a sack, but also his physical ability. I mean, just for him to hold the guy off long enough so he can get the ball and throw an incomplete pass. It's a very smart play, very good play. And now you live to fight another day, and it's 2nd and 10, a lot more manageable to get a first down. And as you said, he hit Pittman there and got a first down. So a big play for Pittman for 20 yards. So got a first down, and they were able to continue to drive at that moment and move down the field. And of course, then score a touchdown by hitting Josh Downs for 6 points.
So before that touchdown to Downs, another one of my favorite plays from this game from Richardson. It's 3rd and 2 on the Jets' 42-yard line. Richardson gets under center. He goes with a heavy play action, boot to his right, and I mean immediately Quinnen Williams gets into the backfield. Like Quinnen Williams is such a good player, man. He's
Yes.
so 90. He's got 95. Quinnen Williams is one of the best defensive tackles, one of the most athletic defensive tackles in the NFL, chasing after him. But the thing, Bill, is the play action worked on this play. You got 44 Sherwood taking the bait, and Sherwood is, kind of he's caught at the line of scrimmage while Mo Alley Cox is running free. So Richardson, he almost kind of runs along like the curvature of the Jets logo at midfield. He's trying to get away from Williams, and like almost like this is wild. The way that he throws this ball, he like puts his back foot down as he's just running almost parallel to the 45-yard line and just flicks it out there to Mo Alley Cox. This ball travels like 30 yards in the air almost, and he completes it for a 12-yard gain. So this throw right here is like there are not many quarterbacks in the NFL who can make this throw in this moment. And sometimes you just got to be reminded of that, of like for all the ups and downs and the inconsistencies that Richardson has had, like his arm talent, and I wrote this on Colts.com, Bill, like his arm talent is not just the 60-yard bombs to Alec Pierce. It's plays like this, where when we think about arm talent and the stuff Richardson can do that a lot of other quarterbacks can't, it's more so to me, it's this throw right here to Mo Alley Cox. It's not the bombs to Alec Pierce. It's this throw in a gotta have it situation where you've got your tight end wide open. This is a difficult throw with Quinnen Williams bearing down on you, and you are still able to make it because of your athletic ability and the incredible, incredible arm strength that you possess.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the pluses of Anthony Richardson, that he can make throws that a lot of other quarterbacks can't make. And he can get the ball to players at different positions and different spots on the field where sometimes other quarterbacks can't get the ball to their receivers or whoever the pass catcher is. So having Anthony Richardson back there and knowing his athletic ability, the things that he can do out there in the football field, that's just a plus. And to me, it's a lot easier teaching Anthony the other things that he needs to work on to get better than having a quarterback that, hey, say, look, you know what? He doesn't have the arm talent or the arm strength to do certain things. To me, that's harder to try to help a quarterback develop those things, because more than likely his talent's only going to take him so far, and he's not going to be able to have that special talent of getting the ball to receivers in certain spots. He's maybe limited on what he can do from a physical standpoint. But when you have Anthony Richardson, who can physically do almost anything back there as a quarterback, it makes it so much easier for the coaches to help out the quarterback to get him to make the big plays, because then they can scheme things and don't have to worry about the physical attributes or lack of physical attributes that will hinder him from making plays. So Anthony has all the physical traits that you want in a quarterback as far as throwing the ball, arm strength, pulling the ball where he needs to. He just needs to refine it and be a little bit more consistent. And it's a lot easier to work with that than work with someone that doesn't have that talent.
All right, I want to quickly talk about the touchdown to Josh Downs, because Bill, I've seen this play before, and this is going to be this is how I guess like how broken my brain is. I don't know. This may be a peek inside my brain. I've seen this play before, and it was 2002 sorry 2022, excuse me, week 2, Colts at Jaguars, and it was run by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who lined up Christian Kirk in the backfield to the left of Trevor Lawrence, and he ran an angle route where he got one-on-one on Kenny Moore. Lawrence rips the ball, throws it, touchdown. I've seen this play before. You know who offensive, I believe he was the pass game coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars was in 2022? Jim Bob Cooter, now the
Cooter.
Colts offensive coordinator. I have a pet theory that this play that the Colts ran is like kind of the same thing. And I need to like really go back and watch the film more directly and I don't know, ask Jim Bob if it was the same play. But I was like, I've seen that before. You got your slot receiver lined up in the backfield next to your running back out of gun, and he runs an angle route where you get one-on-one on the slot corner, it gets a touchdown. I'm like, I've seen that before. Saw Christian Kirk do that 2 years ago. Now, whether it's normal for someone to think like that is up for debate, Bill. But I love this play. You get, Richardson puts the ball exactly where it needs to go. He leads Downs out in front of him. Downs catches it at about the 4-yard line and does the rest, getting into the end zone. But really nice play design. Downs told me they kind of had that play in for a little while and kind of been waiting to use it. And good time to use it there. It gets the Colts in the end zone.
It's a great play because, we have Josh out of the backfield. And what happens when Josh comes out the backfield, he has so much room to work with. So the defender doesn't know exactly where he's going. Is Josh going to kind of go out and break out because he's running the angle, going out a little bit? Or is Josh going to come back in? So it almost freezes the defender. So he doesn't know exactly what Josh is doing. And Josh ran a nice route, got up there, went to a little angle out, and then all of a sudden snapped it back in where he had a lot of space there. And that's one good thing about Josh Downs. He has a good feel for defenders, where defenders are at on the football field, finding the open spot, finding the open hole in the defense. And then Anthony just put it right on him. Nice play. I like to see those plays. Usually that play is run with the running back, but when you put Josh back there, Josh is a special talent and he can do those type of plays. So that's one of the good things about Josh, is a versatility where he can come out of the backfield and catch the balls. He can go out wide and catch the ball. He can do it in the slot. So it's good to see that the Colts are using their players in different spots on the football field. So Josh Downs running that angle route was big, and it's nice to see him catch a touchdown against the Jets tonight.
All right, it actually wasn't the exact same play because I got to get this out. In 2022, when the Jaguars ran it, they had their tight end kind of run a little like a shallow cross. And they had a wide receiver run a corner route and another wide receiver run a post. And this one, Michael Pittman Jr. kind of runs like a stop route. And then you have Kylan Granson and Alec Pierce running corner routes. But whatever it is, you're trying to get your slot guy singled up on a DB on the slot corner, and in both cases, that's exactly what you get, and it leads to a touchdown. Anyways, that is enough memories from the otherwise forgettable Colts Jaguars game in 2022. That's not why you tuned in to this podcast here on the Colts Audio Network. Bill, before we continue, a quick note from our friends at Sony. This NFL season, feel every play, every hit, every moment with the Sony 1000 XM5 noise-canceling headphones, the official headphones of the Indianapolis Colts. With premium noise cancellation, you're in the zone. No distractions, just pure football. Whether you're in your living room or on the go, you'll never miss a beat with Sony headphones. All right, Bill, so that's kind of the nitty-gritty breakdown of Richards, like the really good stuff we saw from Richardson. But I just want to drive this point home, is the New York Jets entering week 11 had allowed 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter all season. Anthony Richardson led the Colts on 2 drives that ended with a touchdown. He threw one and he ran one in. This is not some rinky-dink defense. This is one of the best defenses in the NFL. The New York Jets also entering this week were allowing 168 passing yards per game. Richardson put up 129 in the fourth quarter alone. This is straight up a good game from Anthony Richardson, no qualifiers. And to me, Bill, it's made even more impressive because he had to do it on his own. The Colts were trying to run the football in this game. They were trying to establish the run. The Jets said, "You're not going to do that. You got three rookie offensive linemen. We've got a really good D line. We are not going to let you run the football with Jonathan Taylor." So this game fell on the right arm of Anthony Richardson, and Bill, he delivered in one of the most impressive ways we have seen from a Colts quarterback in a long time.
Yes, and most teams they try to make teams one-dimensional, and they probably said, "Look, we're going to put the game on Anthony's arm," and they probably thought that that was a way for them to beat the Colts by.
That's what they should do. That's
Yeah,
that's exactly what
but
they
that's a
should do
smart thing to
based
do.
on how the season's gone.
That's a smart thing to do for the Jets to do, and for the defense to do, to try to put the game in Anthony's hands in regards to let's see what he can do, because we know what Jonathan Taylor can do. Jonathan Taylor can take over a game, so we're not going to let Jonathan Taylor get going and get started. So you know what? That they did that, and Anthony said, "Okay, that's fine. I'll just go do what I'm supposed to do. I'll make good decisions, and hopefully the good decisions will lead to points, and we'll win, and not make too many mistakes." And he did a nice job. He made real good decisions, threw the ball where he's supposed to throw the ball. And when you do that, most of the time, it's going to work out for you. So to me, the most important thing was making good decisions. And today was a good start for Anthony, making good decisions and executing the plays out there. And now Anthony needs to do is just build on this. He needs to look at the film, learn from mistakes, look at the things he did well, keep those in the back of your mind, and then just build on that and do the same thing he did last week or past couple of weeks as he gets ready to prepare for the next week's game, and then make that a habit every week, and do that. Now, I'm not saying he's going to have a great game because he has a great week of practice, because a lot of times you have a great week of practice and things just don't work out for the game. But over time, he will become more consistent, and that's what you want to see. You want to see Anthony become more consistent with his play and how he sees things on the football field and his decision-making on the football field. If he works hard all week long, each week, those things will come.
I think it's a really good point, Bill, to kind of drive this home, is that 1 week does not lead to sweeping conclusions about where Anthony Richardson is going. 1 week does not mean the Colts' plan to send him to the bench for 2 weeks and then bring him back was this stroke of genius that's going to turn him into the next, combination of Lamar Jackson and Cam Newton. It's one game, and it was fun as hell to watch this game today. But you got to build on it. You got the Detroit Lions coming in next week. They look like an absolute wagon coming into Indianapolis. This is going to be a huge test for the Colts a week from today on Sunday, as Bill, we're recording this. But for right now, for Anthony Richardson to do this, when I was texting someone during the game, and I was just like, even if he doesn't complete this fourth quarter comeback, I'm going to walk away from this game feeling really encouraged about the direction he's going. And I think that he completed it, and the Colts won this game. Obviously, is going to lead to kind of that increasing. But I think when we take a step back, this is a good start. Like you said, Bill, you got to keep it going. You got 6 more games left. You are in the AFC playoff race. If the Colts, and I've said this a couple times this year on different podcasts, like the Colts are going to go as far as Anthony Richardson takes them this year. And today, yeah, the Jets are 3-8. They're a really good defense. That is a really good defense they've got over there. To do this today is encouraging, but you want to see it again. You want to see it when you get into December. You want to see this team start playing really good football throughout the rest of the month of November and into December. This was a good start, but again, like I'm trying to balance it being like, it was a good start, but that was about as good a start as you're going to get.
Yeah, it was fun. It's good to see Anthony come out and play well. And you know what? It's good to see that his teammates supported him while he was out for a couple of weeks. When he got back, they were supporting him and showing how much they loved him and cared about him and wanted him to do well. And now that must continue. Still continue to support the young man and help the young man continue to grow. And he just has to take it upon himself to say, hey, look, I need to get ready. There's some things I need to work on, and I want to do that for my teammates. And if he continues to work and he takes that attitude as far as wanting to work for his teammates, you know what? There are going to be games where he might not play as well, but there are going to be games where he probably might play even better than what he played today. So, we're looking forward to those days where he does play well and see what he can do out there in the football field and see how that helps the Indianapolis Colts.
Real quick, let's chat about the defense. They got off to a great start in this game. They did not allow a first down on New York's first five possessions, but the Jets got into a bit of a groove late in the first half. Once they got that first down, they're able to turn that into a touchdown. Brees Hall. They then come out of the second half. They're able to get on a bit of a run, get some momentum going. And then in the fourth quarter, the Jets they have that 7.5 minute drive where Rodgers looks like he's kind of dialed in a little bit in a way that we hadn't seen. He's hitting that stuff to Davante Adams that you've seen time and time again with the Green Bay Packers. Just that quick sight adjustment, ball out, here you go. And then the Colts defense though is able to hold late on that drive and force a field goal. Where Bill, that was 4th and 2 after Rodgers threw that little screen. I thought the Jets are going to go for it. They lined up
I did too.
trying to draw the Colts offside. Rodgers, obviously, I mean, like we know this. Anyone who's watched football in the last 20 years is like that. Rodgers is one of the best hard count guys in the NFL. So you try to get the Colts to jump, but I kind of thought they should have gone for it based on how the Colts' previous drive had just went, and also like your season's on the line. You put all of your eggs into the basket of Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson, and it's 4th and 2. You kick a field goal. I don't know. I didn't. I like that from our perspective, Bill, but I thought in that moment, getting aggressive. I was a little worried they were going to get aggressive and have Rodgers throw it there. But the defense does a good job. They hold him to a field goal. And then once the Colts go down and they take the lead, then late in the game, you get Kwity Paye hitting the walk-off sack. I think the defense probably wanted some stuff back, especially in the second half. But ultimately, the way they started this game and then the way that they finished this game on the last couple of plays were certainly enough for the Colts to win this football game.
Yeah, it was enough for the Colts to win the football game. And I think the thought process, if I'm not mistaken, if I read something after the game, I think the coach said that, he had faith in his defense and that if they got up by more than 3 points, he figured that their defense, the Jets defense, could keep the Colts from getting a touchdown and just getting a field goal. So, and then that would have helped them win the game. But they didn't count on the Colts going down the field, driving down the field, and scoring a touchdown, and that's what happened. So, give the Colts credit, and you know what, I did think that they were going to go for it and try to put it away, knowing how Aaron Rodgers thinks. He's a very aggressive quarterback. He has a lot of confidence in himself, a lot of confidence in Davante Adams, and also the other players out there. So they wanted to go out there and I'm sure probably go for it, but the coach said he had confidence in his defense, and unfortunately, the defense let him down. But those are things that happen. They didn't go for it, and it worked out for the Colts in their favor. The Colts went down and scored a touchdown to win the game.
So the Colts, Bill, again, they improved to 5-6 on the season. If this all continues, the Colts are not done in the division yet, but that Week 15 game, Week 15 game, excuse me, against the Denver Broncos, that is looking like the big one this season. If things kind of continue the way they're going, for the way this 2024 season, which I don't know. I mean, trying to project out beyond next week is also probably kind of foolish, but just circle that game against Denver in mid-December. That's another road game. And Bill, I travel a lot during the season, and I couldn't live without these Sony 1000 XM5 noise canceling headphones. Whether I'm listening to music, on the plane or trying to listen back to interviews I conduct in the post-game locker room. The premium noise cancellation these headphones provide keeps me in the zone whether I'm relaxing or working. And when I'm at home, these are great for just hearing you, Bill, and keeping me locked into our podcast or for just hanging out around the house. Take it from me, these are my favorite headphones I've ever owned. The Sony 1000 XM5 headphones are the official headphones of the Indianapolis Colts. All right, that is going to do it for us here, Bill, unless you got anything else you want to throw in about this game. I mean, I think we kind of covered a lot with regard to Anthony Richardson, but boy, it's great to talk about the success the Colts had on offense. Oh, one other note I had, I wrote this down and I don't want it to get lost here. The Colts held the ball in this game, Bill, for 34 minutes and 17 seconds. Their previous high this year was 31 minutes and 32 seconds, and that was against the Jaguars in week 5. That's the only other game this year, Bill, the Colts they've possessed the ball more than their opponent. So you got in a rhythm, you converted a little bit on third down, you were able to complete a lot of passes in this game, and boom, there you go. You keep the ball for 34 minutes and you go down and win a football game. That's got to feel pretty nice in there.
It does feel, I'm sure it does feel nice for those guys, and give the defense credit as well. I mean, getting the Jets off the field and a number of 3-and-outs, and they played well. And another person I want to kind of say something about is I thought that played pretty well was Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones had a good day today. He played well, and give him credit. The young man is battling every week. He's playing well, playing hard, and he did a nice job. So I thought the defense did a nice job of definitely limiting the Jets from how many plays they had, limiting the Jets as far as the time they had the ball, time possession. And a lot of that had to do with the defense, getting them off the field, a number of 3-and-outs in the beginning of the game. So give the defense credit. I thought they played well, especially in the first half.
Another guy I want to quickly shout out here on defense, Laiatu Latu, I thought had a really nice.
Yes.
He got some pressure. He got a sack, blew up a screen or a little swing pass, excuse me. I thought he was in the backfield a decent amount, pressuring Rodgers, getting at the pocket. And this is not a game where you would expect to get a ton of sacks because Rodgers gets the ball out quick, but you can see it really start to come together for Latu, and that is obviously very, very encouraging as we hit the stretch run of the 2024 season.
Oh yes, it's important for him to kind of pick it up. I know this is probably a lot longer season than his college season because right now they played their 11th game, and so it's going to be interesting to see how he holds up here on out. But I think he'll be fine because he's a person that loves the game of football, has a lot of energy, and I think he will continue to have that as the season moves forward for these next 6 games.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us here on this longer than usual episode of Instant Reaction presented by Sony, but well worth the time chatting through the Colts' 28-27 win over the New York Jets with you, Bill. We'll be back next week after the Colts play the Detroit Lions. Bill and I will be back on Sunday night here on YouTube and on the Colts Audio Network. For Bill Brooks, I'm JJ Stankevitz. Talk to you next week on Instant Reaction presented by Sony. So long.